Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is English Bulletin with me, Sabha Tribe. The top stories first. COVID-19 infections cross 100,000 mark in Nepal. Death toll climbs to 600. Government increases monitoring at the Nepal-India border points. 10 more outposts planned at Chapa. NRNA starts the second knowledge convention virtually, aims at bringing back skills and knowledge of industry leaders back to Nepal. Armenia and Azerbaijan agree ceasefire in Nagorno-Karabakh. Negotiations held for more than 10 hours in Moscow. And Rafael Nadal and Djokovic to face off at the Men's French Open final. Women's final to be played out today. And now the news in detail. Nepal's coronavirus tally has surpassed 100,000 mark yesterday, as Health Ministry confirmed the addition of 2,059 new cases. The total infection has climbed to 100,676 cases. Yesterday, Kathmandu alone reported 1,116 new cases, followed by 130 in Bhaktapur and 163 in Lalitpur. With this, 1,409 new active infections have been added to the valley's tally. Likewise, the death toll due to coronavirus has crossed the 600 mark. Ministry of Health and Population informed that the total active cases throughout the country has reached 27,053. So far, 73,032 people have made a full recovery from the disease. As the infection rate rises, Health Ministry has issued a warning stating any person that has tested COVID positive and is yet found roaming on the streets will be penalized under Infectious Disease Act 1964. Such person might have to serve a jail sentence up to 6 months, the ministry warned. The ministry has already sent the information to Home Ministry and District Administration Office for taking actions against such individuals. Similarly, the ministry has also requested not to form crowds during the festive season. The government has set a target of establishing 10 border outposts within this year at Chapa. The armed police force has said it is also in line with the government's decision to deploy security forces at these border outposts. There is an open border stretch of almost 144 kilometers with India at Chapa that is currently patrolled by 8 BOPs. The government has therefore decided to establish 10 more outposts within this year at Chapa. The main purpose of establishing these outposts is to monitor any illegal activities that happen cross-border and bring more control over the movement across these border points. 2 new BOPs have just been established at Chapa some days back at Kanchankwal Rural Municipality. The Chief District Officer of Chapa, Shravan Kumar Tamal Sinha, believes the border outpost will also stop the border encroachment problem that exists at Chapa. Kakarbhita, Gauriganj, Teganduba, Kechana, Prithvinagar, Baundada, Kherabari, Bagudubba, Kunchibari and Padmari are the places where the BOPs are present at the moment. Tiring, Nakalbanda, Jamirgadi, Safighata, Bhadrapur, Panthapada, Maheshpur and Abgachi are the places where the new BOPs will be established according to the armed police force. World Mental Health Day is also being observed in the country today, organizing different programs. World Health Organization has been observing World Mental Health Day on October 10 every year starting 1992. Various governmental and non-governmental organizations working in the mental health awareness sector have organized public awareness programs today. Reports have suggested Nepal has seen an increase in mental health patients in the recent years. Public health experts have, however, accused the government of failing to bring a necessary policy in the mental health sector. According to World Health Organization, World Mental Health Day is observed every year with the overall objective of raising awareness of mental health issues around the world and mobilizing efforts in support of mental health. This year's theme set by the World Federation for Mental Health is Mental Health for All. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. We continue with other national news. National Reconstruction Authority has extended the construction deadline of the Tharara reconstruction project. The National Reconstruction Authority decided to extend the deadline of the construction of project by 9 months after Raman Construction Company working on the reconstruction project asked for an extension, citing the problems created due to the coronavirus pandemic. The Reconstruction Authority had agreed on the deadline of 6th of October 2020 with Raman Construction Company 2 years ago in 2019. Project manager engineer Shyam Chandra Shrestha informed that the construction company had requested for an extension of 21 months. However, only 9 months extension was permitted. Shrestha informed that the coronavirus-ensued lockdown had affected the construction work, and since the Prime Museum site had only recently been acquired, the construction company needed deadline extension. Shrestha further informed that it will be a big challenge to complete the work even in the extended deadline. The total construction cost of the 22-storied Tharara building will come to around 3.54 billion rupees. Before the lockdown, more than 350 people were working on the reconstruction project. Although the company could only work with 20 to 30 labourers during the lockdown, the company has now increased the pace of the construction by involving over 250 workers. Non-Residential Nepali Association NRNA's 3-day knowledge convention has begun from yesterday. The second ever knowledge convention is being staged virtually because of the situation surrounding the coronavirus pandemic. The NRNA started organizing the knowledge convention to bring the skills and knowledge of Nepalese living all across the world back to Nepal. The convention will host all NRNs globally. Addressing the program yesterday, Physical Infrastructure and Transport Minister Basanta Kumar Nembang said all NRNAs have the potential to invest back in various sectors in Nepal, but urged that they should also invest their skills and knowledge in Nepali market. With the economic meltdown caused by the coronavirus pandemic in Nepal, Minister Nembang said that the economic recovery of the country will require support of all sectors of the society, including the NRNs. The 3-day convention will focus on information technology, energy, agriculture, transportation, food and environment, and all matters related to NRNs. The convention has also vowed to identify the Nepali nationals in leadership positions across the world and help bring their skills and knowledge back to Nepal. And now the news from Economic Front. The national pride project of the construction of Pokhara International Airport is now 64% complete. The construction work was being completed all throughout the lockdown by closing down the airport operation. Chief Engineer of the Pokhara Regional Airport Project Implementation Unit, Binesh Munakarmi, informed that construction of both airside and landside has now been completed up to 64%. Project Chief Munakarmi informed that construction work of the runway, taxiway, apron, isolated parking and hangar apron has already been completed. The project chief also informed that civil work and concrete steel infrastructure of domestic and international terminal, ATC tower, hangar building has also been completed, with only decoration and finishing left to be completed. The project is also expected to complete within the deadline of July 10, 2021. We'll be taking a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international and sports news. Welcome back, and now the international news. Armenia and Azerbaijan have agreed for a temporary ceasefire in their standoff at the conflicted region of Nagorno-Karabakh. According to BBC, a 10-hour-long talk had been initiated in Russian capital Moscow and was mediated by Russian authorities. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov announced the agreement just before 3 a.m. local time. The conflicting nations have agreed for truce starting midnight on October 10 and plan to start substantive talks over the disputed territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. Al Jazeera quoted Lavrov as saying, "More than 300 people from both sides have died and thousands others have been displaced since the recent aggression broke out on 27th September. The hostilities will be halted from midday on Saturday to allow an exchange of prisoners and the recovery of dead bodies." Nagorno-Karabakh is run by ethnic Armenians, although it is officially part of Azerbaijan. The two former Soviet republics have blamed each other for the latest outbreak of violence, the worst in decades. The second round of United States presidential debate has been cancelled, Al Jazeera has reported, citing the Commission on Presidential Debates on Friday. Both US President Donald Trump and his Democratic rival Joe Biden disagreed this week over the possibility of holding the event virtually. Al Jazeera has quoted a CPD's statement that confirmed the debate scheduled to take place on October 15 in Miami would no longer take place. The CPD will turn its attention to preparations for the final presidential debate scheduled for October 22, the Commission said. "I am not going to do a virtual debate," the US President said in an interview Thursday with the Fox Business Network. The first presidential debate on 29 September had descended to insults and interruptions. The US election will be held on November 3rd this year. 6 million votes have already been cast in early voting. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Rafael Nadal maintained his reowned grip on the French Open by reaching another men's singles final, where he will face a top seed Serbian Novak Djokovic. Second seed Nadal is going for a record-extending 13th title, which will see him equal a Swiss rival Roger Federer's all-time leading record of a 20 men's Grand Slam title. Nadal won his semi-final tie against Argentine Diego Schwartzman in straight sets of 6-3, 6-3, 7-6. Nadal, 34, has only lost twice on the Roland Garros clay in his career. Serbian top seed Novak Djokovic is of the men to beat him and set up another chance by overcoming Greek fifth seed Stefanos Tsitsipas. The 33-year-old Serb showed his resilience with 6-3, 6-2, 5-7, 4-6, 6-1 against the 22-year-old Tsitsipas, who was aiming to reach his first Grand Slam final. Djokovic will now meet Nadal for the 56th time in their career. No two men have played each other more. Today, the women's final will be played out between American Sofia Kenin and Polish teenager Iga Swiatek. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. COVID-19 infections cross 100,000 mark in Nepal. Death toll climbs to 600. Government increases monitoring at the Nepal-India border points. 10 more outposts planned at Chapa. NRNA starts the second knowledge convention virtually. Aims at bringing back skills and knowledge of industry leaders back to Nepal. Armenia and Azerbaijan agree ceasefire in Nagorno-Karabakh. Negotiations held for more than 10 hours in Moscow. And Rafael Nadal and Djokovic to face off at the men's French Open final. Women's final to be played out today. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.